Welcome to Sakura Dreams. Tonight, we'll introduce you to a beautiful Japanese tradition known as Obon. Obon is an annual Buddhist event to honor the spirits of our ancestors. It is a time for families to return to their hometowns to clean graves, offer prayers, and spend time together. This is a very special period, as it is believed that the spirits of our ancestors visit the living world during this time. In most parts of Japan, Obon is celebrated from August 13th to August 16th. The festival includes various customs, such as lighting welcome fires to guide the spirits home and enjoying traditional Bon Odori dances. As you listen to the sounds and words of this special tradition, let your mind and body relax, and be guided into a gentle, peaceful sleep. If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I take a slow, deep breath. Ah, I've finally arrived home. This scent, tatami mats, incense, and the familiar earthy smell of summer. Far from the noise of the city, I can finally breathe. I tuck my phone deep into my pocket. No more emails. No more notifications. Just for these few days, I'll let myself drift with the passing of time. The heavy heat that clung to me when I got off the bullet train begins to melt away as I step through the front door of my family home, into the cool, calming scent of old wood. This is where I belong. A place that never changes. A place of peace. Today marks the beginning of Obon, the day we welcome our ancestors home. Obon is an ancient and cherished summer tradition in Japan. Once a year, during this special time, the spirits of our ancestors return from the other world and come back to be with us. We greet them, spend time together, and when the time comes, we gently send them back again. But it's not a sad occasion. It's a warm, heartfelt time, a time to reunite, to express gratitude, and to feel the quiet bond of family. At dusk, my mother said, "It's time to light the welcoming fire." I stepped out into the garden. The soft glow of lanterns swayed gently in the evening air. Round paper lanterns, hanging from tall bamboo poles, painted with our family crest. The patterns dance in the breeze, their shadows stretching softly across the ground. The sky still holds a hint of twilight blue. A few stars begin to flicker awake. Even though life has been so hectic lately, standing here, watching this quiet scene, my breath naturally deepens. My mother lights a bundle of dried hemp stalks, the traditional ogara. Crackling softly, tiny sparks rise, and a fragrant smoke begins to drift upward. Come home, everyone. My mother's gentle voice melts into the night. The soft glow of the fire casts a warm red hue across my face. This small ritual, lighting ogara, dried hemp stalks, is called mukabi in Japanese. It's meant to guide the spirits of our ancestors, so they won't lose their way. A beacon to light their path home. People have been doing this, generation after generation, for hundreds of years. A tiny flame, fragile but steady, connecting this world to the next. When I was a child, this welcoming fire used to frighten me. It felt as if the boundary between life and death was suddenly too thin, too close. But now, it feels different. This flame feels warm, comforting. As I gaze into the flickering light, I feel something glowing inside me too. A gentle, quiet warmth, like a small flame lighting my heart. Back in my room, I found the family altar adorned with offerings, just like every year. There was a cucumber shaped like a horse, and an eggplant shaped like a cow. When I was a child, my mother explained it to me like this. Our ancestors ride the cucumber horse to come home quickly, and leave on the eggplant cow to return slowly, taking their time. I remember listening to her voice, soft, kind, as she arranged the tiny vegetables with care. Bright fruits, sweet rice dumplings, and even the candy I used to love when I was little. Everything placed so thoughtfully. My mother's quiet tenderness settles deep into my heart. Around the altar, colorful Bon-Chochin lanterns glow gently, welcoming the spirits home. I sit down on a small cushion and place my hands together in prayer. When I close my eyes, I can see my grandmother's face. It's been years since I last saw her. But her smile still feels close, kind, familiar. Like a warm memory. Quietly, as if speaking to her directly, I say, "Hi, Grandma. I'm home. I'm doing okay." Even without speaking aloud, I feel certain she can hear me. A moment later, the scent of incense seems to grow stronger. And in the far corner of the room, where no one stands, I sense the gentlest breeze, barely there, but kind, almost like a touch. Maybe I imagined it. But somehow, my heart feels lighter. Warmer. Perhaps they're already here. As evening falls, it's time for dinner. During Obon, we avoid meat and fish out of respect. So the table is filled with warm, colorful dishes, simmered vegetables, rice cooked with mushrooms, and miso soup with soft tofu. I help bring the dishes to the table, moving naturally through the steps I've known since childhood. My father and mother are already seated, along with a group of relatives, chatting casually about this and that. I join in, speaking gently about my life in the city, my work. It still feels a bit awkward. I left home suddenly, years ago. But lately, we've started talking again. My parents were worried, of course. And yet, here they are, welcoming me home with such warmth. I feel nothing but gratitude. It has been years since my grandmother passed away. But even now, I can remember that day so clearly. The last words we exchanged were an argument. My family had run a traditional business for generations. We made tatami mats, the woven straw flooring that once filled every Japanese home. But these days, people prefer hardwood floors, and little by little, the demand for tatami faded. The scale of the business kept shrinking, year after year. My grandmother wanted me to take over the company, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to inherit something that felt like it was disappearing. I wanted to leave the countryside behind and live in the city. I couldn't understand her old-fashioned way of thinking. And before I knew it, harsh words had slipped out of my mouth. "Grandma, your ideas are too outdated. I just don't get it." I stood up, full of frustration. My grandmother didn't argue back. She just looked up at me quietly. In her eyes, I thought I saw a trace of sadness, and maybe even a hint of resignation. But I looked away, pretending not to notice. Then I stormed out of the room. "I don't care anymore," I shouted. That face she made, a little sad, yet calm, like she had already accepted everything. That expression has stayed with me ever since. I never got the chance to apologize. A few days later, she suddenly collapsed, and passed away soon after. I take a deep breath, and slowly let it out. The regret from that moment still weighs heavy on my heart. On sleepless nights, it all comes back to me. The way the room looked, the words I should have said. If only I had been more honest with her. If only I had said just one word. "I'm sorry." Or even, "Thank you." But now, it's too late. I've told myself that, again and again. And each time, my chest tightens with pain. I left home as if running away, and found a job in the city. I heard later that the family business still continues in some small way. But they're still struggling to find someone to carry it on. Still facing an uncertain future. Now the night has grown deep. The sound of insects grows louder in the stillness. Outside, I hear the high, clear chirping of bell crickets. A sound you only hear in summer. And somehow, just hearing it makes the hot night air feel a little bit cooler. Sliding into the futon, the cool sheets feel soothing against my skin. When I look up at the ceiling, the soft shadows of the wooden beams drift into view. The kind of shadow only an old timber house can cast. In this house, my parents slept, and their parents before them. All of us have spent nights just like this. Slowly, as if invited towards sleep, I close my eyes and turn my attention to my breath. Inhale and exhale. I feel the tension easing from my body, little by little. From the tips of my toes, up through my calves, my thighs, my belly, my chest, my shoulders, my arms, And finally, the muscles in my face gently loosen. It's as if every bit of tension is melting away into the futon beneath me. Far off, perhaps I hear the distant beat of festival drums, or perhaps I do not. Maybe it's only my imagination. Still, that sound carries a rhythm that somehow feels familiar and quietly nostalgic. It's the sound that reminds me of summers long past. Shaved ice on the porch, the cool, fresh air after an evening rain, and the laughter of family echoing through the house. All of it. Precious memories made right here, in this home. I remember my grandmother gently fanning me on the porch with a paper fan. The scent of mosquito coils drifting in the warm air. Even then, just like tonight, the sound of insects filled the night. Soft, steady, familiar. Suddenly, the air in the room seemed to change, just a little. As if someone were standing very close by. A gentle presence at my side. It wasn't cold. If anything, it felt quietly warm. And then, faintly, I smelled it. The sandalwood incense my grandmother always wore. It was a presence I could almost touch. My heart gave a soft, slow beat. Thump. I wasn't afraid. Instead, something in my chest tightened. An ache of longing. A sweet, aching nostalgia. And, just for a moment, a small flutter of hope. In my heart, I whispered softly, as if speaking to the night itself, "Grandma." I didn't let the words escape my lips. And yet, the presence seemed to draw even closer. It felt as if the edge of my blanket sank ever so slightly, as though my grandmother had quietly sat down beside me. Slowly, I reached out my hand. I didn't touch anything. But there it was. A warmth. A gentle, tender air that surrounded me. It felt so much like the warmth of her palm. That wrinkled, soft hand that always held me close, wrapping me in a comfort that only she could give. Grandma, I'm sorry. I repeated over and over in my heart. I'm really sorry for back then. I'm sorry for saying such cruel things. I know you wanted me to take over the family. But I was selfish. I should have carried it on. But I didn't. Tears well up and spill from the corners of my eyes, soaking into the pillow. I'll take over the family. I've quit my job. These are the words I'd wanted to say for years. A lump of regret I had locked deep inside my chest. Now, I can feel it slowly melting away, as if ice, frozen hard for so long, is quietly thawing under the warmth of the sun. Then, I felt that warm presence gently stroke my head. It was a wordless, tender affirmation. As if saying, "It's all right now." A feeling of peace washed over me. My grandmother's voice resonated directly within my heart. It wasn't something I heard with my ears, but a warm message I felt deep inside. You've always worked so hard. I know that very well. Even in the unfamiliar city, you gave it your all. I've long since let go of what happened back then. What mattered to me was that you were healthy and safe. I've been watching over you all this time. No matter what, you were always my pride. So you don't need to blame yourself anymore. Slowly, gently, her words flowed into my heart, as if to reassure me. Tears of regret turned into tears of relief. The chains that had bound me for so long began to loosen. A warm light filled the depths of my heart, like the first rays of spring sunlight breaking through after a long winter. My grandmother's warm presence wraps around me, seeping into every corner of my body. It feels just like when I was little, drifting to sleep on her lap. Back then, I had nothing to fear. In her warm arms, every worry would simply fade away. Now, I am surrounded by that same sense of safety. Inhale, exhale. My breathing grows deeper, calmer. Even my heartbeat slows, falling into a steady rhythm. Thump, thump. The sound of life. A sound that connects me to my grandmother, and to the ancestors who came long before us. You don't need to think about anything anymore. Let go of all your past regrets, and all your worries about the future. Let them all melt away into this warm, gentle presence. You are forgiven. You are loved. You are protected. On this night of Obon, I feel as though my grandmother's spirit has come to heal me. And as I realize this, my heart slowly fills up. It feels as if a warm light has been lit inside what was once an empty heart. The weight of my body sinks gently into the futon, as though I were lying on a cloud, my body growing lighter and lighter. The restless waves of thoughts that once rushed through my mind have now become a calm, quiet surface of water. Only a peaceful stillness remains, softly wrapping around me. My body feels as though it has been freed from gravity, floating gently in the air. My mind drifts down, slowly sinking into the depths of a quiet ocean. A place where no light reaches, where everything is calm, still, and soft. My grandmother's warm presence is still right beside me, watching over me, wrapping me in her gentle care. With her presence surrounding me, I can let go and drift peacefully into sleep. It's all right. Everything will be okay. You are never alone. The people you love are always by your side. You may not see them with your eyes, but you can feel them with your heart. Here, in this place, you are connected to what truly matters. Sleep now, deeper and deeper. Let the comfort of rest wrap around you completely. In your dreams, you will meet the ones you hold dear. And when you awaken, your heart will feel lighter than before. Good night. May you rest in perfect peace, for as long as your heart desires.